Hi everyone. Most people think that auditors check complex formulas first. No, that's not the case. They check the basic controls of the file, basic hygiene of the file. So in today's session, we are going to see what are the Excel mistakes which auditors notice. Be it auditor or any person who is reviewing the Excel files, they don't look for complex formulas in the beginning. They start with the basic things like whether the formatting of the file is good, whether the basic formulas are linked properly, and there are no errors in the basic formulas. So once they get a control on the file, then only they will go to the advanced formulas or advanced things. So the first step is checking the basics. The first and the foremost error which people usually do or tend to do is keying in the formulas. Instead of linking a cell, they link manual numbers. So for example, this is the invoice amount and this is the GST rate. Instead of linking it to column C, they're typing it manually like this. So there are different rates and they're just typing all the places. So this is one red flag I can say, which an auditor or anyone who is reviewing the file feels this is not comfortable for me. So the solution for this is just link the relevant cell and don't key in anything manually. Keep all the cells linked. That is the first and foremost thing. The second error which anyone can trigger is you can say that in this formula also it's linked to the cell instead of keying in manually. But if you see here, there's one somewhere it's highlighted as green, right? On the left corner, you can see something called green. So if you just go to that hover over the cell, you can see again this is manually linked. Except this, rest all are linked properly. But only one cell is not linked properly and Excel is showing on the face of it that this cell is having a different formatting compared to others. So it's a easy identification for anyone to see that okay, this is something different or there is something wrong to question. The questioning mind is on because of this some small issue. So you can correct it by linking all the cells and keeping the same formula across. So this is the basic error we can say. The second error, which is common across multiple people, is uh, with some formula or with any subtotals or total formulas. When we are usually giving these formulas, we give the sum formula and later on we might add the rows or we might delete the rows and the formula might not be updated always. So whenever you're giving a file for review, make sure the totals are updated properly. The links are referencing to the entire series what you want. If you have added a data or row or column, make sure it is copied, the formulas are updated till that last column and last row. So this is the second most common error. And the third type of error which can happen is, for example, this is the manual input, right? But somewhere here I can see there is a formula. All these cells are just a manual key in, but here somewhere in between I can see a formula in between. So you can tell me how auditors will know that there is a formula in between. So you can easily check, just to control G, special and formulas. Excel will automatically tell that this is the cell which has a formula in between all the values. So for them, it's very easy to identify these kind of errors. So this is another common type of error. So let's move to the next type of data. I have some report extracted from SAP. Okay, this report looks clean, but there are challenges in this particular report. The first challenge, where is the header or what is the parameters from SAP which you pull the report? Is it for 1 month? Is it for 1 year? What are the parameters? Which accounts you pulled? Is it only P&L accounts you pulled or use it P&L and some balance sheet accounts you pulled? There's no parameters, there's no clear explanation. So whenever you're giving it data, a GL extract or TB, mention the parameters clearly. So whenever you see it after a month or two, at least people will know, right? What exactly is this particular data related to? Which legal entity it is pertaining to? which period it is pertaining to, which all jail accounts it is pertaining to. Everything will be clear if you give the parameters. Without parameters, this looks like some random data and no one knows what it is. So that is the next common error. And here if you see, numbers are there, but different formatting. Here there are no decimals. Here two decimals are there, and here four decimals are there. This is, I mean, this is not a error, but the clean formatting helps people to get some comfort on the data. If the formatting looks so clean and if the data is looks so clean, people tend to assume that okay, this data might be correct. But if you have an incorrect formatting and a lot of different formatting between the cells, people might think that okay, this data is not cleaned first of all, so this data is not a work data, and there are possible errors in this. So always clean your data in the beginning. And if you notice the next error, there are hidden columns and there are some hidden rows. Whenever you see a hidden row or hidden column, people tend to assume that maybe something is wrong over there. So that's why they have hidden that particular row or column. So this is again another red flag. If you don't want this particular data to be seen, ideally delete it. Or if you want to keep the data, delete the values in that at least. If you keep some values and give a formula, for example, it might give a incorrect output because the values are there but it's hidden, so people can't see it ideally. If I see the total for visible cells, it's only 3 million, but the total says 4 million, so it will give me confusion. So if you don't want that data to be included, just delete the values there. So this is another kind of error which people usually do. And the next kind of error, amount, try typing the text. So in the description we have mentioned, try typing the text. We ask people to type the text, but they are given numbers and they're given something which is not at all numbers. In this case, how can we control this? In the previous video, we have mentioned something called as data validation. So if you want something specific to be inputted in this particular cell, use the data validation. If you have any doubts on data validation, go and refer the previous video. So data validation, lack of data validation is the another foremost error which is most possible. And coming to the next thing, you will see some links to external files which are saved or not saved. If the file is saved and both the files are shared to the auditor or the person who is reviewing, they can refer both and they can try to get the formulas. But if something like unsaved workbook, book one, who knows what is book one? No one knows, right? In these situations, it is very complex to understand the reasonability of this particular data, and no one knows whether this book one is there or deleted or someone has updated. No one had a clue. So always make sure that you don't have any links to the external files which are not saved or which are not relevant. How can you check that? You can check it using data workbook links. In the queries and corrections, you can see the workbook links. Here, all the links, if you have 10 links to different workbooks, you can see all the links available in this particular sheet. If you don't, for example, I feel like okay, this is some old link, I don't want to use it, I can simply click the break all, or just click on break this particular link. So if I do this break link, the data will remain as is, but the link with the external workbook will be broken. There is no change in the data in the current workbook, only the link will be broken. So you can simply click on break links, and now my data is same. There's no change in that data, but now I don't see any workbooks existing. So now auditors believe that okay, this data is keyed in and it's fine. Okay. And the next red flag or the next error which people usually do is different formattings or different layouts. Using multiple combinations of layout and different formatting for each thing will confuse people. So this is a simple data. This is the revenue, this is my cost, and this is the profit. If you give a simple table, revenue, cost, and profit. See how simple this data can be displayed. But if you give a different layouts and different formattings, people might tend to confuse and see like, okay, there might be something wrong with this particular data. So this is another red flag. Lack of error checks is the another foremost error which usually happens. You'll give couple of sources and both the sources says different totals. So how people can validate that this source is correct or this source is correct? GL says 5 lakh and the TB says 4 lakh 95. Which is correct? No one knows. So having a proper error check at every point, try to maintain a checkpoint saying that, okay, there is a difference. And if you know the reason for difference, give an explanation. Or if you know, uh, I mean, if this is something can be corrected, correct it and then send the file. So people know that, okay, there is no difference between both the sources being referred. Or if there is a valid reason, they will understand the comment section and they will go through this. Okay, this is a valid reason. So okay, we are fine with it kind of. But if you don't give an explanation or if you don't give the checkpoint, the comfort won't be arrived. So these are the few kind of errors which we usually do, and it can be easy identification for the auditors or the person who is reviewing, the independent person who is reviewing the file. So try to correct this kind of errors in future and you'll get less audit queries. I hope this helps. And if you want more such kind of finance related topics or Excel related topics, do follow our channel, Excel in Excel. Thank you.